What is up? Jonathan Crane here. I'm in the thick of cyclocross season, and I just wanted to make a video that goes through my normal weekly routine during a cyclocross block of training. Generally, I got these grouped into threes, so I'm doing 3 weeks that are hard or normal, and then 1 week easy, and that week I'll generally try to time so that I'm coming into a race fresh. Right now, this is one of the normal training weeks. This is Monday right now, 5 o'clock p.m. I'm going to try to make a race this weekend in Georgia and then take next week easy, and then I've got Alabama State Championships a week from Sunday. But right now it's Monday. I just did a race in town yesterday. I just did Cyclocross, which I won the men's open race at that. So that was awesome, but my legs are kind of smoked. So generally Mondays during the season are easy days. I am about to hop on the trainer and maybe do a little Zwift. Very easy. 60% FTP is kind of what I'm going to be shooting for in probably an hour, hour and a half. I did also commute to work today. I rode my fixed gear to the office, but that's only about 10 minutes, 15 minutes each way. Kept that effort very easy, but legs are blown out. Going to try to absorb some of that effort that I put in this weekend. So today's easy ride is kind of dual purpose. One is just to get recovery, spin my legs a little bit, and the other is I'm going to dual record the ride on Zwift to get ready for tomorrow's hard ride, which will be the first race of ZRL Season 2. Now, Tuesday is normally my day for some kind of hard effort, whether that's intervals outside, intervals on the trainer. At this stage of the year, I'm leaning more towards the trainer. Speaking of the trainer, the reason you've never seen my trainer, it's in the laundry room. So my setup is kind of crammed in this corner of the laundry room. It makes good videos, but it's not super photogenic on video. $158 watts average for the hour. That's about exactly what I was looking for. So this is first race of ZRL. I did a fasted ride easy this morning. I knew this would be less time than what I needed to get in today. And this should be an exceptionally hard e-race. Start list for this one is gonna be absolutely bonkers. See Dan Chabanov in here. He won Red Hook like 5 times or something.
Oh yeah?
Hitters, yeah. Last kick.
So it stings, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, we made it.
Woo!
Oh, stay on it. Ah, chained off. Back on.
Fuck.
Good work, good work. Ah, 14th. No good. Final climb coming up.
Oh.
Find your group and get stuck in. Almost there. Get up there, big trouser, nice. Ah. You got it, man.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God. Hey, Alex, 7th. Nice. Wow, KDHB rug and yep. It is Wednesday afternoon after work. I'm out here at the ballpark in Gardendale. There's some single track back here behind these baseball fields and stuff. I'm gonna drop in here and try to get an hour worth of easy laps. I'm gonna try to pedal easy, but also flow through the corners. Really what I wanna do today is recover from yesterday's effort and then also get some skills work and just stay light and nimble on the cross bike, stay used to the geometry, and keep my skills up between last weekend's race and this coming weekend's race. So yeah, let's hit some laps on this single track. I am not sure if I just severely underestimated how long it would take to get to the trail or what, but I was hoping to get an hour in. I only got 30 minutes in and it got like super dark out there. You might ask why I didn't bring lights. I've got a new light and motion light on the way. It just hasn't come in yet. I've got a light that's good enough for riding on the road, but not really for riding on the trail. Regardless, what I wanted out of today was an easy ride and a little bit of skills work. I got that done, maybe not as much of each as I would have wanted, but it is what it is. That's Wednesday. It is Thursday morning, about to grab my commuter bike and ride to the office. It's only about 10-15 minutes each way, but I always make sure to Strava these so that I'm keeping track. If you do that 5 times a week, you know, it's 2.5 hours that you're not quantifying. So while I don't look at these rides as training, I wanted to include them because they are volume and like stress on your body. So this is my 10-year-old fixed gear commuter. It is a Mercier Kilo TT from bikesdirect.com. Literally the minimum viable product of a bike. Yeah, gonna hop on and do 10-15 easy minutes to work and then back later. I have ridden back home. I'm on a little bit of a time crunch today, so I'm gonna try to hit like 3 birds with 1 stone. Gonna do some short, sharp intervals, trying to keep the intensity high. Feeling okay to do some efforts today. So Tuesday, Thursday, hard efforts, and then a race on the weekend. That's gonna be it for the intensity for me today. So I'm gonna do those efforts on the trainer in the interest of time. And there's also a brand new route within the Maruki world on Zwift today, so I'm gonna check that out. Probably just gonna do like a 40-45 minute anaerobic type workout and then hit a short run. I try to get 10 minutes, 15 minutes of running in every week, just to keep those muscles strong for the cyclocross races. If you get the wrong muddy day and you're doing a couple dismounts per lap, that really starts to add up, especially if you're not toned for it. So just like 10 or 15 minutes of running, and I try to do that straight off the bike, which is what I'm gonna do today, making the best of the time I've got today. Start winding it up a little. It's a little late switching erg there. Cranking it back up. Big chain ring. All right, let's try this. 111. We'll set it there, maybe crank it even further for the last one. Shift it, wind it up a little. Whew. I'm literally gonna change shoes, lose this jersey, and run straight out my door. Off the trainer, headed straight outside for a run. Just gonna get about 10-15 minutes to keep the legs moving, make sure that I don't lose the fitness I built before the season. It is Friday. Knowing that I might not get as much time on the trails as I thought, I got up early this morning, did 50 minutes on the trainer, easy, fasted, and then today I got my derailleur straightened out, my derailleur hanger rather. Shout out Redemptive Cycles, community bike shop, bike co-op, got me hooked up with a derailleur hanger straightener, got that all straightened out. Rained a little this morning, so the trails are gonna be real leafy and real greasy, which will be treacherous, but also really good handling practice, which is what I'm here for. Gonna keep the pedaling easy and work on skills today. So I'm really glad I did that trainer session this morning, because once again I was only able to get like 30-40 minutes on the trails, but I made it count. I did a lot of slipping and sliding around, really thinking about like the position of my body over the bike, where I'm braking going into corners. These are all things that like juniors who grew up racing like BMX and things at an early age, a lot of this stuff is just in their minds, like they just do the right things naturally. But I came to the sport a lot older. I didn't start racing until I was 24. So I have to constantly remind myself these little pieces, especially also doing road stuff in the summer, doing a variety of disciplines. I'm not just like constantly off-road. So I need to be really proactive about reminding myself what the good habits that make a fast cyclocross race are. So yeah, successful Friday, easy pedaling, a little bit of skills work, got it all done. What's up? It is Saturday, got the cyclocross race in Georgia tomorrow. I'm doing Scott Peak, the trainer road workout Scott Peak. I've ported it over to Zwift. Gonna do it on another one of these new routes. It's just 45 minutes of pretty easy spinning with 4 45-second pops in there. Touching the energy system, sort of high VO2, low anaerobic system there. To touch that up before tomorrow. Honestly, might even skip a couple of these intervals. I don't need a whole lot. Just going to spin the legs a little bit, pack my bags, pack the car, get ready for tomorrow. But that is it for today. It is Sunday. I've made the 2.5-hour drive over to this race just south of Atlanta. This is the Nash Farms Georgia Cross race. So this is Georgia's Cyclocross State Championships, which I'm not eligible for. Not that I feel like I'm gonna win the elite race anyway, but I say that to say I'm kind of coming in with like no expectations today. This is really our state championships is next weekend, and the best way to practice cyclocross is to do cyclocross. I know this is gonna be a really good hard race. It's gonna push me, it's gonna make me work on some skills and just like stay fresh and do a hard effort. So I'm at the end of a 3+ week block that began with team camp, so I'm kind of at the most fatigued I'm gonna be. Hopefully I'm going to take next week easy, and then I'm going to come into Alabama State Championships like fresh and peaked. A lot of the people I'm racing today, I'm imagining, have done that a week earlier because they are Georgia people. This is their big A race. So I say that to say I'm getting my excuses in early here. Don't expect anything out of my result today, but I do expect a good hard effort. Mid-pack would be solid in these fields. These are really good fields. Top 5 would be great. I did a Georgia race 2 weeks ago and had my best result ever in these fields. Came up 5th, which I've never broken the top 5 over here before that, which kind of let me know like I'm in the conversation. I'm not totally outgunned in these races in the way that I would have been like 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, gonna go get registered, do some laps on the course, and dial in tire pressure, all that kind of stuff. Riders ready.
Here's my race footage. So I'll talk through how this race went, some takeaways from this, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the week as a whole. So starting on the second row here, this is only my second Georgia cross race of the year, so I didn't have a call up, and not enough of these guys know me for me to sort of slot in on that front row, which really hurt me in the start. I felt like I had a good start coming into the first corner, but then right as things start to pinch, I'm just getting swarmed from both sides here and kind of continue to go backwards for a second. I think some of that is just the fact that people don't recognize my jersey, because again, I have not done all of these races all year. So a thing that happens is, like, especially in cross, you got to trust the wheel in front of you. You got to trust that they're going to take a good line, that they're not going to break. So people see an unfamiliar jersey and just go, I got to get in front of this guy, I can't risk it. So I kind of had to wait for some people on the back to start to leave gaps open like that so that I could jump around. And that was kind of the story of this whole day, is I'm like dangling off the back of this train. We got the accordion effect. That was a nice one. I glided right back into the back of them there. I saw that 180 corner coming and knew there was a lot of grip there. So I kind of let the gap go out a little bit and knew I could close it in the corner. Tried to do as much of that as possible, but being on the back, one of these groups, every mistake someone else makes is going to cost you. In retrospect, I maybe should have fought harder to maintain good position during these early laps, but it was honestly very hard up at the front too. Everyone was sort of elbows out. This was, as I said, Georgia's state championship race, so it was very hotly contested. A lot of the fastest guys were out here. Andrew Spark from, I think that's him, picking his bike up right there, from Automatic Abus over on the national crit scene. There's at least one other guy here who races the crits for the Volet factory team. So yeah, this is a very stacked race, probably even more so than the other Georgia cross race I did this year over at the Dick Lane Velodrome. This course was very Veldrijden, I believe is what the Belgians and or Dutch would call it, which translates to field riding, which is like what they call cyclocross in general. But this was truly field riding. Like, this is a farm. I believe farm animals run around in this field when there's not a race on. So the field's extremely bumpy, a lot of heavy pedaling in some thick Velcro type grass that takes a lot of power to muscle through. I think I make a pass in the Velcro grass here. I felt like my power was actually really good. I worried I would be fading toward the end of this block, but making the pass right here, and then I think I crawl back onto this group, which is the front group at this moment. So I claw back up to this front group on this power section. I felt really good in all the power sections, but what kept happening is I would get up to this group and I'm tacked on the back, trying to sort of recover. Here goes an attack. The second I get there, this guy pulls out to the right and attacks. And I believe that might be the winning move of the day, or maybe that was the move for second. But this was pretty indicative of the entire first half of the race to me, though. I would get up to this front group, and then something would happen, whether that's someone on the back has a bobble, which causes me to put a foot down or something, or someone attacks off the front right as I've made contact, which rips me off the back again as is happening here. But I'm really proud of how I rode this race overall. I said that was indicative of the first half of the race. The second half, we had gotten kind of settled in, and I was picking individual riders up, and it was more of a time trial type effort after things got really broken up. But I stayed on the gas and kept my effort really individual to me. I had this course sort of broken down into sections in my mind where I knew all of the longer pedaling sections I wanted to go all out. So on some of these more technical, even like the swooping turns, I was really trying to stay off the pedals, get as much recovery as I could, and then pedal really hard through the pedaling sections. Got a pass right here. I think this is the moment that really did it in for me as a part of the front group. So I'm in contact with the front group here. I think we got one off the front. You see making the switch back up here, but this Savannah College of Art and Design guy has just made the pass on me. We go into this switchback section on this, and the GoPro really flattens it out, but this is a very steep bank, probably like a 35-45 degree bank that we're making these turns on, and then gums up a little bit. He puts a foot down even harder than I thought he would. I should have just gone wide there, knowing that traffic was going to stack up, or go ahead and run it. And that looked pretty innocuous, but that was the gap that took me off the back of the front of that group for good. So I guess I'll go ahead and say I got 5th here. I tied my best ever result in a Georgia Pro 1-2 race with a 5th in this race. Super stoked on that, especially the fact that this was their state championships and I'm on the end of my training block. Really thought my doors might get absolutely blown off this day and I would just be on like a pure training block here. So I'm really happy with that. I did only get GoPro footage from the first half of this race. At some point my GoPro, I don't know if it's the cold or the bumpiness, but it just turned off. But basically what you see here is what the rest of the race was like for me. I would sort of settle into my own pace, maybe catch one rider, sit with them for a little bit, and then make an attack on one of the hard pedaling sections and try to hold that. One of my big goals for this season was to get a top 5 in a Georgia Pro 1-2 race. It tends to be the hardest fields in the Southeast. I've won races in like Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, a lot of other places, and just never been able to crack the top 5 in Georgia. So to have done it twice in one season is huge. Really, really excited about that. But takeaways from this week as a whole and kind of what I want you to get out of it. So the first thing is just specificity to the type of racing that you're doing and that you're training for. The intervals that I did were very specific to this type of racing. If you watch this video, there's a lot of pedaling sections like the one we're on now. None of them are more than about 30 seconds of a sustained hard effort though. So the efforts I'm trying to do in training are topping up that short energy system. Now I've built my FTP throughout the whole year. I've built that longer power, and now that we're into the season, I'm trying to just really sharpen the exact type of effort that maybe is the most relevant here and that I have not worked on throughout the rest of the season. Then with my easy days, as much as possible, I'm trying to work on my skills that apply to this type of racing. So getting on my cross bike, staying used to this geometry, and then getting off-road. Doing the trails, it's not just riding single track trails that I would recommend. It's riding trails that force you to do some of the same skills. So that specific trail system that I rode earlier in the week, there is a lot of like up and down and a lot of sharp corners. So that forces me to stay on top of like the kind of body English stuff that applies in cyclocross racing. It makes me do a lot of tight, twisty turning, and that's really, really applicable to cyclocross. You can ride your cyclocross bike all week, but if you're not turning the bike a lot and you're not turning the bike off-road, at least for me, I get out here and like the first 30 minutes feel very alien to me. So I've got to keep that stuff hardwired into my program. As short as cyclocross races are, the races themselves are short, so that's one hard effort this week that was short. Also, the training sessions I do for them are generally 1 hour, packed with those short, sharp intervals. So those are short sessions as well. That's why I felt like I could handle 3. Also, knowing that I'm going into a rest week the next week after this race, I felt pretty comfortable handling those 2 interval sessions and then 1 race all in 1 week. But 3 hard days a week is kind of pushing it. If you're doing a different type of racing, something that's got you doing longer sets of intervals, or your hard days are a little bit longer, hour and a half, 2 hours, probably keeping it to 2 days of intensity makes a little bit more sense per week. So that is a week of training for me during the cyclocross season. 2 sets of intervals during the week, and then as much as possible, other than that, riding easy and working on skills with 1 race on the weekend. If you got any questions about cyclocross, I would love to talk about it. I love talking cross. I honestly wish I had made more content during this season just so I could talk about it more, but I've been really focused on my actual racing and just haven't had the bandwidth in my life to both race at this level and make some stuff. But if you got questions, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about it. Maybe it'll give me ideas for other videos to make or something quick I can just answer right there. And if you made it this deep into the video, I hope you got something out of it. So, like, subscribe, all the YouTube-y stuff. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled on the channel. I do have a couple of other videos on the horizon that are, in various stages of completion and editing. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.